The percentage of women who are receptive to you will increase proportionally to the quality of your lifestyle, your social status, and your looks. The percentage of women that you are able to move from neutral to receptive will be proportional to how good your game is, or how well you are able to communicate and express yourself with women, and your ability to sort through each type of women and meet as many as possible will be determined by how fearless and bold you are when it comes to meeting women. The last paragraph was important and the basis for the rest of the book, so you may want to read it again and make sure you understand it. While most pickup advice obsesses over the avoidance of rejection, rejection plays an integral part in my strategy. It's unavoidable, so I figure we may as well develop a strategy that uses it to help us. Rejection exists for a reason. If you are a professor at a prestigious university, then you are probably not going to enjoy your time with a high school dropout with an alcohol problem. Just because she has a nice ass doesn't mean you want to be with her. Polarizing women into rejecting, and when I say us, I mean the real us. The vulnerable and unabashed us does us a favor by sorting out which women are going to make us happy. Men often want to have it both ways. They want to be able to avoid painful rejections, avoid saying something stupid, avoid embarrassing themselves, while at the same time being this attractive, amazing guy who women fall to their knees for. You can't have it both ways. The two go together. You cannot be an attractive and life changing presence to some women without being a joke or an embarrassment to others. You simply can't. You simply can't. You have to be controversial. You have to polarize. It's the name of the game. And getting good at this game is learning to open yourself up enough emotionally, learning to express your honest self enough to and be comfortable enough with your vulnerability to take those embarrassing moments along with the moments of passion. A willingness to polarize is not easy, but it's necessary. It is why you are here right now. Polarizing to attract. Our primary strategy with women is polarization. The idea is that the more forthright you are about who you are, how you feel, and what you think, the more this is going to weed out unreceptive women from the receptive women, as well as push neutral women to get off the fence and decide how they feel about you. The amazing thing about polarization is that the simple act of doing it demonstrates non-neediness and will then inspire more natural women to become receptive than other strategies or tactics. Like I mentioned earlier, the most common strategy by men who are inexperienced with women is to be liked by all, hated by none. But when it comes to being intimate and attractive women, this is a horrible strategy. Being hated by nobody usually means you are not loved by anybody either. The men who employ this strategy employ it because they are trying to avoid confrontation and controversy. Many of these men have been avoiding confrontation and controversy their entire lives. It's part of their fear of vulnerability. The fact is that sexuality, attraction, and relationship are by their very nature confrontational and controversial. You have to either make the decision to accept being controversial and controversial, or you need to accept that you will go through life with everyone being natural towards you. Polarization is what occurs when you express your truth and make yourself vulnerable. When you tell a woman she's beautiful, you are polarizing her. When you tease her about her earrings and put your arm around her, you are polarizing her. When you wear a custom made suit when you go out, you are polarizing women. When you tell a woman who is late to a date to never be late again, you are polarizing her. When you smile and tell her beautiful she is, how beautiful she is, you are polarizing her. When you take her hand in yours and let her somewhere, you are polarizing her. Everything that is attractive is polarizing. These are never wrong moves, assuming that they are honest expressions of yourself and you are showing vulnerability. A man who is highly invested is going to alter his behavior based on the woman he's talking to. He's going to be afraid to tell her that he doesn't accept her being late. He's going to be afraid to wear that suit out. He's going to be timid when he wants to put his arm around her. He's going to be unable to make himself vulnerable, express his truth, and will therefore not polarize her. A man who is uninhibited about expressing his emotions and what he wants will demonstrate non-neediness, thereby attracting a woman and immediately forcing her to decide whether she is receptive or unreceptive. And chances are, unless there is a lot of friction present, she will become receptive. You'd be surprised how many women will respond with attraction to nothing other than a man who is bold and willing to stick his neck out. A lot of men assume that this means you are inviting a mountain of rejection onto you. The surprising thing is this is rarely the case. Yes, you will get rejected when you polarize women, and yes, every once in a while it will be a harsh rejection. But surprisingly, a lot of women will react warmly to these advances, even if they are not interested and reject you. They respect a man who is bold and honest. I've had tons of occasions where I approached women boldly and honestly, stating directly that they were beautiful and I wanted to meet them. And despite rejecting me, they were so impressed by my boldness and confidence that they promptly introduced me to a friend of theirs who was available. I've often been thanked by the woman who I've unsuccessfully hit on, not because I did it, but for the way I did it. And when things go nowhere, women at least respect me and the fact that I bluntly state what I feel. Most of the harsh rejections I've had in my life came from when I was performing, seeking validation, when I was overinvested and needy and overcompensating, when I pursue women in a vulnerable way. Almost every woman at the very least will respect my advances, even if she is not interested. In my experience, the more polarizing a man is, the more they are flooded with opportunities with women. This is true for every man I know who is incredibly successful with meeting and dating women. The biggest mental hurdle for many men is the ability to handle rejection. Lots of men have had it ingrained into the mold of their lives, and even by other dating advice, that rejection is terrible and should be avoided at all costs. They buy into some myth that there are magical ladies men out there that don't get rejected ever. And as we'll see, this is not true. If that was helpful, feel free to join channel and support me guys. Thank you. Thank you.